Sven, we're back. We're back, baby.
Alex, we're back. And it's so good to be here, back again, talking, hopefully, some things that people might find interesting.
Fingers crossed.
Also, probably no doubt there will be a lot of random conversation in this next half an hour, 40 minutes or
Why
so.
change the habit of a lifetime?
Exactly. And what's been going on? We've taken a bit of how long has it been since we last put a show out? Let's put it that way.
It's been a hot minute, hasn't it? It must have been. Oh, now then. Well, I haven't done anything in this house, and I've been here almost a year, so things have been busy elsewhere. I know we definitely did. We had a conversation about play and the concept of play, because for some unbeknownst reason I was considering a PhD. I think I've knocked that on the head now, but I've got it out of my system. Done the research, not put in the time and effort to actually get the qualification. But yeah, it's been a while. But
And this is
we've both
following
been
on,
busy.
just a minute on this one though. That's following on from your graduation, right?
Yes,
Because you graduated, you are now MA,
I am. I'm MSc.
MSc. Okay.
Yeah, Masters of Science. Yeah, positive psychology and coaching psychology. So I have what every world girl dreams of, a certificate to do the job that she's already been doing for the last 5 or 10 years.
But congratulations.
Thank you very
Pause for that. That's an amazing achievement.
Yeah, it was hard. It was tough, especially I put on LinkedIn, I did it to find myself after adopting a toddler and being in lockdown, and then started a business. Like, what planet is that a good idea? But it was so good because one of the big things in terms of my research for my dissertation was all about entrepreneurs and how to help them get through, and what support services are out there, what is amazing, what they need, but actually what really shapes success. So it was a wonderful deep dive into a shed load of research. I carried out my own research as well to kind of really hone that, which is incredibly important, which kind of leads on to some of the stuff we're going to be talking about later.
That's incredible. No, it's brilliant. And yeah, of course, you didn't need to do a degree to do this, to maybe to find out about yourself, or certainly to do the work that you're doing. But I think it's such a beautiful thing if you've got the time to kind of really, really get deep into the weeds, and being almost forced to do that because of your master's degree and whatever else. I remember when I did my MA in education, and I came out going, "What's next? PhD or EdD?" And I was like, it was definitely one of those. And it lasted for about a month until I really realised the extent that you need to go into that. That's a life-changing moment.
It really is. And do you know what? I think I was kind of game for it. And I spoke to an amazing woman, and I still want to work with her at some point about this PhD. But there was a moment in the summer where I was like, what is this weird feeling? Like, I'm sat outside having a glass of wine. Oh, there isn't the looming fear that I should be doing something somewhere that I'm not. And I'm really looking forward to Christmas without that, shit. I need to be locking myself in a room away from my family and actually doing some work. And that is one of the greatest feelings on the planet, knowing I don't have to do that. So yeah, it was definitely an interesting time. I mean, like you say, you have the time to, swim in research and things. If that time was 2 a.m. in the morning, then yeah, I definitely had that time. But it was hard fought for, but worthwhile in the end. So yes. So tell me about the things you've been doing jointly. What's been going on? Because I know I've been busy and up to stuff, but tell me.
Oh my God, yeah, huge. So we've been doing loads of incredible projects. So jointly is really all about bringing people together to collaborate much more effectively, particularly in remote work settings, remote workshops. I have this firm belief that this whole kind of conversation about hybrid, remote, in office just needs to disappear, because actually sometimes it's really nice to be in the office, sometimes it's really nice to be remote, but you can do everything in either place. And actually the conversation about hybrid and remote working really is kind of a conversation about commuting patterns, really. That's what I kind of believe, right? And I've been working from home for a long time, pre-COVID even. And I know that you get the connection in person and whatever else, but there are some reasons that people give about not working remotely, such as you can't get collaboration, you can't be creative, you can't do innovative new projects and those kind of things. And I'm here again, just like categorically, that is not the case.
Yeah.
And I've got evidence and I've got proof, and we've been working with these projects like Heineken. We brought you know, a big hard project for Heineken. They wanted to kind of bring a new shandy to market. They didn't really know what they were doing. Shandy, old school drink and whatever else, but we did a workshop to kickstart that project. And a lot of what we do is about kickstarting those big projects. If you kind of know you want to do something, but you're not sure where to go. We did a workshop, 1 week workshop, and Foster's shandies, because they own Foster's brand, that was on the shelves 9 months later.
Amazing.
And that's half the time that it normally takes to do R&D and development. Normally takes 18 months. We did this workshop, and the kind of magic, it was all completely remote. People all over beyond the country, actually. It was the country and a few other countries. People were kind of zooming in and whatever else. But we did this in a very collaborative workspace or work site that we call it on Miro.
Yeah.
And it got people to have perfect clarity on where they were going, 100% alignment on the direction, everyone kind of moving in the same way. And that's an incredibly powerful thing. I think I saw something the other day. I'm going to just grab this quote because I think this is it kind of brings to life for me why this is so important, and actually links to some of the things that we're going to be talking about shortly as well that we are doing. So if you're watching this, stick around because there's going to be a big announcement very shortly. So that's going to be super exciting. Some of you might know of Lenny's podcast. I've spoken to you a bit about it, Bex, but Lenny's podcast, it's all about product management, product design, and he brings some real amazing product leaders and business leaders from all over the world together to talk about some of the things that they're doing. He had Toma Cohen, who is a CPO of LinkedIn, on in a recent one, and he said this one, which I think is bloody brilliant. It's okay to be wrong, but it's not okay to be confused, right? So if you're going in the wrong direction, if you're confused about the direction that you're going, that means you're confused, and that is not okay. And the guarantee is that if you're not pulling in the right direction, in the same direction, you will fail, right? You will not succeed if everyone is pulling in different directions. The obvious thing that happens in my mind is if you've got one person pulling forward, one person pulling backwards, you net out to be zero, right? You don't go anywhere.
Definitely.
So it's that kind of analogy, and I think that's what we've done at Jointly so much, is about getting aligned, moving in the same direction, getting everyone literally thinking about the same page, and we're looking at the same page often as well, doing a whole load of activities and workshops and things. Similar kind of things with other big clients. I'm just going to drop a few: HSBC, Fidelity Insurance, Allianz Insurance over here as well. So yeah, loads of good big projects. And a lot of what it's about is bringing that entrepreneurial mindset, that kind of that movement towards experimentation, to quickly figuring out the directions, and bringing that into a big corporate organization kind of blows their mind in a really good way, and it means that they can get so much more done so much more quickly, which is really, really cool. Really big, hard projects, but amazing to be able to do those.
That's awesome, because that's in part of my research in terms of successful businesses. It's the entrepreneurial mindset. If you can get that bit boxed off through various different ways, so just support systems, coaching, whatever it is, it realistically, you need to be able to be flexible. You need to be able to be resilient. It needs to be a case of you go, right, well, there's a fluidity, I think it is, where you back yourself, you turn up to whatever's going on and be like, I have the toolkit, I have the confidence in my skills, and we're just going to go. We're going to do the thing we need to do. And I really love that, because that's where the experimentation comes from. That's, doing the research, having the conversations, making sure that you are all aligned, and then just going, but being happy to navigate the path as you need to en route. That is, perfect.
Yeah, that navigating the path. I mean, that's such an entrepreneurial instinct or mindset to have, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't know, sometimes you don't even know exactly where you're going, but you know the direction of travel.
Exactly.
And I think that's an interesting thing for a lot of different walks of life, whether that be, you know, entrepreneurs or in business, but or even if you're thinking about your career, you know, I try to give. I've got kids. We've both got kids, and
Yeah.
some of my older kids now are definitely thinking about what comes next in their careers and things. My daughter's nearly 8. She'll be 18 next month. My eldest daughter, which is just blows my mind. But she's really thinking about, you know, that career. What's she going to do? And for me, it's about like trying to help her figure out what the direction is that she wants to move in, rather than thinking about a specific job or a specific destination. And I think that's a really kind of an interesting way to go as well. And it's going to change, right?
Yeah, 100%. My 5-year-old is the exact same place, worryingly, 13 years earlier. Her current MO is taking things that are not hers and selling them for cold hard cash. So she doesn't really care what it is she's selling, where she's selling to whom, but the outcome is a cold hard cash. So yeah,
Just wants cash. A little bit of theft going on in there, or is it not quite?
yeah, 100% manipulation, hard negotiation. Yeah, taking her brother's Pokemon cards, setting up things outside the house, yelling at people at the allotments to buy lemonade, etc. Coercing my husband into different payment channels. General racketeering. So it's
I love
either she's
that.
going to be an entrepreneur or criminal. One of the two. It will be.
Yeah.
She's fine.
Maybe they're both the same, though. Surely some of the best entrepreneurs are probably just happen to do criminal damage,
Speak for
criminal
yourself,
stuff.
Ben. I'm pure as the driven snow.
Right, let's move on. That's all in the past. That's all the things we have been doing.
Yes.
Let's tell these wonderful people what's happening now. What's going on? What are we working on? Because we're working on something pretty special, I think.
I think so. Off the back, alongside my masters, I've been working on a myriad of programs. So I had the pleasure of working with Creative UK, Baltic Ventures, UK Space Agency, and Entrepreneurial Spark, working with some amazing founders, across a load of sectors. And alongside my private client coaching clients, I'm seeing some trends. I'm seeing some wants, some needs, you know, in dog food in terms of research. I know from like grassroots what people are after and where the programs that these people have managed to get on, because they are really exclusive. There's only a short number of places that can help and support people, where there's some gaps, where people need something more. I've also had the pleasure of working with some unbelievable supporters of, you know, the entrepreneurial ecosystem. So I'm talking like phenomenal IP lawyers, amazing accountants, public speaking gurus that are really setting, you know, these people up for success. And alongside that, the ones that are doing incredibly well kind of come with this playful confidence that just means people listen. So when they're in front of investors, customers, whatever it is, they're really shining. From all of that research, all of those insights, all the stuff that I've learned, I've seen how people should be supported. I've seen what good looks like. I've taught on them. I've shaped some of the courses myself. And I want to take this out to a wider community. Incubators, accelerators, growth programs are phenomenal. They are incredibly helpful to people. So I'm in no way bad mouthing them. They are my bread and butter, and you know, my heart lives with them. But there's a wider community that need them. There's only a few people that they can actually support any one time. Also, I've met this incredible network of, you know, supporters, cheerleaders, amazing specialist experts that can really help people, but they come at a cost. All, you know, specialist help comes at a cost, and that's restrictive. And entrepreneurs are working with tight budgets. You know, they need to make every pound work for them. They've got limited time. So it's kind of like, right, how can I help these people? What can we do to shape it? So sat there one Saturday morning, had a download, and I was like, this could be the answer. Get on the blower to Spen. He's the man to help me in terms of, like, you know, how to help people on a larger scale, you know, the amazing facilitation, you know, the fun that we have. I want to work with people that I enjoy spending time with. And just bring that to other people. They're working in isolation. They need a community. They need people who are going to cheerlead for them, but also teach them the things that they know. Like, let's bring it all together. And that is the growth playground.
It's so cool. When I first heard about it, and it was just a couple of, I mean, we're talking like a couple of weeks ago. That's all that this idea has really been been kind of been building on it. But immediately, well, there's a couple of things that kind of happened when I started to think about it. I thought about my time in the accelerator that I was when I was running a tech startup, and we were invested in by Founders Factory, and we went into their their accelerator. Sorry, it had already been kind of incubated internally. Nice. This idea, and it was great. And those people are amazing, and they provide such a great service in many ways. But there was a few things that were missing for me.
Yeah.
There were great specialists, and there was lots of help around growth and investment decks and whatever else, and product and things. But I didn't really, even though I was physically around a lot of other startups, I didn't really get immersed into the community. I didn't feel like I'd benefited hugely from the network and the community and learning from other people. So when you started to talk about this, about it being a community of people that, yes, can learn from experts, but can hugely learn from each other. We want people to be bringing their knowledge, their experiences, their questions, and to get that kind of peer support rather than it being top down. All about that. I think that was a great thing. I love that. It's really hard, and I think this is what we're going to hopefully find, is that running communities is really hard. I've been a part of lots of communities. Some have done okay, some have been more difficult to get kind of going. But actually, when you're feeding the right things and you're giving the right timetable, if you like, for want of a better word, the right kind of program for people to get involved and find those opportunities, and it's done in the right way where everyone knows that they're here to provide value and receive value from people, I think it can be an amazing thing. And yet, like you say, the experts, we're talking here about experts that are otherwise out of the price point of a startup ordinarily, or just not accessible because they're kind of assigned to whatever accelerator programs that are too far out of reach for a lot of people. So we're trying to make this much more inclusive in some ways, but kind of exclusive in some ways as well. And this is something that we've been talking a lot about, trying to get the right language here, but making it kind of open for anyone. The opportunity is for anyone to join, but the kind of realization that in order to do this, you've got to kind of give a bit. You've got to be involved. We don't want passive people just to come and pay their money. Money's great, but actually the value of the community is far more important, right?
Exactly, 100%. I had a perfect example the other day. A lady I work with on one of the programs, she'd been through SEIS Investment, another company that I'm working with at the moment, they wanted to go through it. They were stuck on a specific thing. Sorry, can you hear the dog in the background? Okay. So perfect example of me seeing founders working together really beautifully was a phone call I had the other day. I work with a lady who is a management accountant, startup founder though as well, and she'd been through the SEIS rounds. And I had another partner, another company that wanted to work on a really specific bit in terms of their business model, could bring them together. They spent an hour together. He saved $5,000. She managed to give some of her learnings. Absolutely perfect. And it's that kind of thing that I want to happen, where there's people at different stages of the journey, different skill sets, etc., but they can come together and really help each other.
It's so cool. It's so cool. And I'm thinking about this, and at the same time as thinking about my experience with Founders Factory, when we spoke, I was also thinking about my experience now with Jointly, and actually, I've been really fortunate that we've had, even though we haven't done many podcasts, I've still had ongoing conversations. We've still been able to kind of use your expertise. In fact, I literally spoke to you the other day about a deal that I was doing and wanted some advice about the best way to play that. And that resource, and I also have people like Nick Himo, the business model expert, who's a good friend. I've done a load of content with him as well, of course, that many people will know about. But people like that, I've had the ability to tap into that resource. But still, the challenge I've had with Jointly is not wanting to take the piss out of people's goodwill. Not being able to not wanting to kind of take too much from other people giving up their time. You and Nick, like amazing coaches that have a price, and I'm kind of getting that stuff for free. And I've kind of wanted more of an accountability thing, the daily, almost weekly, or whatever it is, accountability thing to kind of go, you've got this is what you need to be doing, this is, or what is it that you need to be doing, what are the goals, what are you trying to achieve, where do you need to get to, how can you break that down?
Nice.
And I know all of that practice. I know how to help other people do that. I coach other people to do those things, but doing it on your own, particularly when it's a small company, is really, 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 really challenging. And I think, again, that's what I was thinking about when you got in touch, to kind of go, yeah, man, that like accountability partner or partners that can just keep you motivated, keep that energy high. We all go through those dips and that roller coaster on this kind of business journey, but to get someone that's in your corner, kind of championing you and giving you that motivation or that direction is incredibly important. I think if we can provide something like that as well with the Growth Playground, I think that's an amazing thing.
I completely agree. It is, and I have coaches, everyone I know has coaches, and that's kind of the blessing and the frustration, because we know what we can access, but everything has to be paid for separately. So, everyone's got restricted budgets. So it's kind of like, who do I need to work with at any one time? There's blockers, you're calling in favors. And it is that whole, like, how many times have I spoken to that person? Do I owe them a favor back right now? It just leads to this start-stop mentality. And that's something I'm desperate to get rid of, abolish. Because the thing is, most people who start startups have got the kind of spirit, they're excited by it, and these roadblocks hit, and then things become like, you become tired, don't you? It just wears you down, because you're like, okay, I'm a month on and I haven't had any movement. Like, what is going on? Is this the right path for me? Should I be doing this, etc.? And I want to stop that. I want to get rid of it. Like, let's have it so we all work together. People can, just come together, do some awesome shit, have a nice time while doing it, work with some awesome people, get their business going. That is the MO, without a shadow of a doubt.
Incredible. So why don't we talk a little bit about how we see this working out? Like, what is it that we're looking to include with the Growth Playground?
Yep.
If someone is interested in and it's got like a little idea of what a community looks like, what is this community going to look like? Perhaps we should talk through some of those things. Do you want to start us off, and then I've got the website in development on my other screen. So if there's anything you miss, I'll kind of look over and check it out. Yeah.
So from what I've seen in terms of the programs that I've been on, accountability, number one, like starting off the day in a good way, knowing what you're looking to achieve, removing any blockers, having access to people as well in terms of that break glass in case of emergency need. So being able to hop on a call with someone who's just going to either unblock that situation for you, give some advice, or signpost you to something you need. There's also going to be masterclasses. So it might be a case of we get someone to come in and say, like, this is how you write copy, or this is how you turn up online and create videos for YouTube, for example, through to this is how you build an investment case, or a business model, for example. Alongside those things, real actionable workshops. So we do a lot of sprints, don't we? Whether it be design sprints to solve specific issues with the business. So it might be your online conversion, or it might be something, creating a brand. Anything that's kind of a chunky thing that needs a bit of work, we can actually have structured programs or one-off workshops where essentially they will take you through the steps so you come out with something that you can actually build upon and get going with. What else have we got? You've got the website in front of you. Tell me, what am I missing?
I have. Well, the community itself, so online community where you can post anything, get a response. Again, moderated, but also we want people to be bringing their own thoughts and their own support for each other. So they're going to have to get involved. People are going to have to want to get involved. And actually, in the research that we've been doing, we've found that people are really keen to be involved and to support other founders, other entrepreneurs, other people that are starting businesses as well. So I love that kind of reciprocation element that we're already finding that a lot of people want to get to be able to provide that. Yeah. Expert office hours. So as well as the masterclasses, there'll be the ability to come in, speak to a CTO or an investment expert or a public speaking coach, and just kind of ask opinions.
Yeah.
It's it's that kind of group coaching, but without the price tag of individual group coaching. And even again, being able to access some of those people is otherwise very, very challenging.
Yeah.
There's a few things as well that we want to be able to provide in the future, right? And this is at an early stage. At the moment, we are looking to open very shortly in the next month or two with a kind of a closed beta, I guess we'd call it for now. But eventually, as we kind of open the doors much more widely, we also want to possibly have things like prize pots for people that are contributing a huge amount. There might be kind of rewards and prizes, as well as, and this is, I think, feels like too big a dream, if I'm honest, at the moment, but I think it's achievable, because I think it could be an amazing thing, which is basically have some kind of equity prize, or not even equity. Maybe it's an investment prize where we can give away some money to people that have got incredible ideas and are doing the things that we're seeing them do, because we'll have such a relationship with these founders to kind of support them in financial terms, as well as with the coaching and support and masterclasses that we're providing. So we really want it to be kind of a holistic view of everything that we can do to support founders and startups.
Definitely. Alongside, I think I'm firmly putting my money where my mouth is, because I want people to invest in it. And if I believe in them, I think there's twofold, actually. Firstly, us putting money into businesses and you having smart investors, but all who can help you and will be hands-on within the business. But secondly, curating a network of smart investors or angels that can actually work with you. And I've had a couple recently that I've introduced people to, and it's been really lovely, because actually the investors have said, do you know what, this isn't necessarily in my wheelhouse normally in terms of my portfolio, but because I know you and I've worked with you and I know that you have had eyes on the business, I trust you, therefore let's have a conversation, let's do something. So that's the kind of thing I want to be able to enable. If we can shortcut people's applications to other programs as well, because there's a certain level of endorsement that they have put in the groundwork, we can highlight those people who really are smashing it and doing really well. And it's not just collecting good human points in terms of the community and interacting with others and helping each other, but actually the ones that are really doing well and really progressing with their businesses and actually celebrating their successes, going to that wider network and saying, look, we've got this cohort of people who are looking for investment. We've taken them through an extended sprint of last 8 weeks. They are ready. They've got all of their due diligence done. Their data rooms are ready. Everything that you need to know this is a good, solid business, come and speak to them. So it's not only helping people. I mean, some people won't be on the track for investment and they just need good, solid advice on how to run a business well. They need day-to-day support to make sure that they are having, good vibes and in a great mood, and they've got their mindset right and their head on, and they've got the steps that they need to achieve the thing they want to. There are other people who need investment, need that wider level support, and it may be a specialist accelerator, or it might be just cash in the bank to grow. Well, I want to make sure that they've got them, but actually people also know that they've done the work, because there's nothing worse than an investor looking at a business and being like, on the face of it, it sounds brilliant. What's the evidence? What's the data? Give me the financials, etc. And someone hasn't done it. And I want to avoid that. I want to make sure that we've got great caliber founders within this program, not only from an output, as in we're putting those into the world, almost like, the end of university, they've got everything they need. But hopefully they'll stay on, and that community is just richer for it, because we know it's just, when someone comes with a question, they're going to get the right answer. You get so many sharks and bullshitters in this world, and I'm tired of founders, spending their hard-earned cash, hard fought for cash on the wrong people that give them the wrong advice. So yeah, it's creating that safe space where people can do awesome stuff and be rewarded for it, because you know what, it's fucking hard. So let's make it a little bit easier.
And let's make it a little bit easier and a little bit more fun. Bring, as you say, bring the vibes.
Yeah.
Like, it's such an important thing. And again, just to kind of give you a little peek behind the curtain on this as well, we're so excited about this, the fun angle, the playful angle, the bringing the vibes and getting it to be a space that not just people are getting value from, but they like they want to do that. We want to meet in person because I want to meet these people and go for a drink with them. That's the kind of thing that we really want to try to bring. And entrepreneurship, starting a business, it's hard because it just always is, and that hardness isn't going to go away. But it doesn't have to be a lonely and confusing endeavor. It doesn't have to be a thing where you're in that pit of despair constantly. So this is what it's all about. Bring us out. Let's have a good time. Let's have fun. Let's not just, it's not, and we talked about the playful side of it.
Forced fun.
It's not forced fun. It's like, this is going to be fun. It's like, it's fun because it's hard, because we're making progress, you know. It's fun because it feels like we're doing the shit we need to be doing in order to get to where we want to get to. I love that. I think that is fun, right? That is absolutely incredible. And it's playful because we're experimenting and we're bringing in that sense of like, you know, that trying things and pushing yourself. And that's a good thing. It's what kids do naturally. And it's the thing that gets killed out of us through education and through our early parts of our careers often. So we want to bring that kind of playfulness back into building businesses, you know, and it should be fun, even though it's hard. Hard doesn't mean not fun.
I gave you the analogy of Luna on the monkey bars, didn't I, over the summer?
Right.
Like she was desperate to do the monkey bars. She's seen other people do the monkey bars. She knows she has the same skill sets as the people doing the monkey bars, but she couldn't do it. She'd probably get 1 or 2 in, shit herself, and then just dangle for a while. She couldn't even fall because she was too scared to fall. So it was just this absolute just stuckness, absolutely frozen. And I see entrepreneurs do that. And, you know, I had to sit down and go, okay, right, well, what's the worst that happens if you fall on the ground? Like, let's actually jump off this thing and test the falling bit. That is the worst that's going to happen. Right, okay. So we did that a couple of times. We had a couple of conversations. Next thing you know, smashed it. She can do the monkey bars in like 3 minutes later. And then she's doing bigger monkey bars, more difficult monkey bars, like not a problem. But she needed to practice. She needed to feel safe. She needed to have the skills there and know that people are going to catch her and that we believed in her. And sometimes that's all that's needed, you know, and it needs to be at a certain point in time, easy to access and with the right people. You know, if you think about any time you've gone through a difficult part of your life, chances are it's the people around you that have just, you know, even if they're just around and you know that they've got your back, you can go on and do the thing you need to do. And I think that's the key thing, because a lot of entrepreneurs don't have the network. They don't have people around them. A lot of their friends are in the 9 to 5. The family are like, why on earth are you jettisoning this amazing career you've got into oblivion to go and start something yourself? And you need to find your peers, you need to find your tribe, the ones that are going to be like, let's get stuff done, be out there rallying for you, activating their network. It's really, really important. I've seen it so many times within growth programs, and it's the magic. Often, you know, that is the most important bit, but it's making sure that we're bringing the right caliber of people together so that everyone can really help each other.
Yeah, and actually, going all the way back to the conversation we first had when you phoned about to talk about this, I think you were talking about a gym program that you'd signed up to recently, and I think you described it to me as kind of a class pass, for business, and like straight away, I'm like, totally get what you're talking about. This kind of community where you've got different classes that you can sign up to, different, in our world, master classes, but it's a community where you get support and you get the you know, the accountability, the focus. And in a gym, that's all about building muscle or building or losing weight or whatever it is. You've got those goals, and it doesn't come overnight, and it's hard. And what we're trying to do here is basically build the same thing. We're trying to go through that training aspect to get stronger businesses rather than get stronger bodies. And I think that analogy is totally works.
And there will be, if you think about it, Jim, you know, there's the technical aspect. So how do you perfect this specific lift? But then there's also the mind thing, you know, there's that more holistic approach, and you might go more like meditative yoga, etc. So there's that wide spectrum, and just the community that is I'm now being ingratiated in, and just through membership and through general trust, because we are like-minded people. It's insane. It's like some kind of mum mafia. It's utterly ridiculous. I mean, essentially, I can get anything I want within like 2 minutes because I just post it in the group and they're like, yeah, not a problem. There you go. And that's what, I see. I know from my network, my closed network, where I am the conduit, if I need somebody to help someone with X or Y, I'll go. So, perfect example. I work with an amazing company who do phenomenal Kickstarters, and I work with someone else who is pivoting and actually Kickstarter with the perfect thing. I'm like, can you jump on a call with that person? Yeah, no problem. Of course, Beck. Happy days, not an issue. And it's that amazing generosity of spirit because they've had people who've helped them along their path, that they want to help others. Like that's what I want to foster. So we'll bring as much as we can to the table, this multidisciplined approach with, even things like, how do you run an amazing workshop? How do you do user research? How do you build a prototype? How do you hire your first developer? Like practical things like that, through to I'm having real issues with, conflict between my staff, or I've got somebody who I absolutely adore and want to employ, but they're not quite getting X, Y, and Z. Like, how do I talk that through? How do I be an authentic leader? All the realms, anything you possibly need, I want us to be able to provide that. And that's whether it sits within our skill set or we've brought amazing people into the community, the masterclasses, etc. At any one point, we will evolve and change and we'll bring people in. We're going to watch the community, understand the needs at any point, and just have it so that, do you know what? You don't have to sit there and go, this thing could be amazing if I could just speak to somebody like that. It's there. It's all there for you.
I'm so excited about this thing. If I wasn't involved in it, I really genuinely feel like I would want to be part of it. If I wasn't,
oh no, I'm intending on learning it from it myself. Like
exactly right. Yeah. I mean, we're going to be participants as much as kind of running the thing as well.
Exactly.
We want to be open with it. Like this is an experiment.
Yep.
Undoubtedly, we're going through the process that we think other people should go through. The things that we've learned and we talk about. We're prototyping. We're getting landing pages built. We've got a wait list we're just about to launch. In fact, by the time this is published, I think the wait list will be launched. You can probably go down into the description and go to the link. Hopefully that's going to be live by the time. Exactly, by the time this gets published as well. And it's all about, we've had, and being super honest, right? We are experts in this early stage business development. Experts in kind of getting things off the ground. We've helped so many businesses and projects start over the years, our own and other people's as well. Yep. But we've still fallen foul of some of the traps that we see people falling into, right? Even in the last couple of weeks, getting too bogged down in the nitty gritty of language and particular copy and whatever else, and trying to make the perfect animations on our website so that everything pops and sparkles and flashes. Things like how do we get the energy and the fun aspect when we actually want to be as succinct as possible, and these are some of the challenges that we've had in doing this. But one of the biggest ones we've had is we've been round and round in circles about what is it that we really want, that people really want to have. And we've got some assumptions about that. We think we're broadly in the right area because we've got a lot of experience in this world, but equally it's going to, as Beck said, it's going to be something that's just constantly developing. So what we're really looking for now, and I guess let's move on to a call to action. It's always a good thing, right?
Yeah.
What we really want is people that want to start to go on this journey with us. For the next month, we are opening a closed beta of just a small number of people, and we want each of those people that join us now to be able to really contribute and be able to give us the feedback that we need in order to build something amazing. Yep. So if you think that that's you, if that's something that you're interested in, absolutely pop on your name and your email address. That's all we're looking for at this point. Definitely. Email address into the waitlist, and we'll make sure we keep you updated on everything that's going as we roll it out over the next month. Less than a month.
Public commitment there. Like, let's do this.
Accountability, commitment. You heard it here.
Do you know what? It's so interesting because even the companies that I'm working with at the moment who are, doing hundreds of thousands, millions of pounds, like there's still the same things here. There's still the same things to iron out. They don't go away. It's not a case of it's a stage of a business. Um, they're the things to get right. And often, no matter how skilled you are, how much you know, you still need other people to call you out on your BS and just get stuff done. So, yeah, it's really important. So let's wrap it up. Let's get these people get back to their work. But sign up. Please come and join us. We'd love to have you. Yeah, it's going to be a good place. Like the curated beta list of people that I've worked with over the last few years, ones that Spencer has, entrepreneurs that we know and love, who are going to do great things. So yeah, come be a part of it.